Let's give a warm welcome to Khalan Boyer.
Hey, RV, how's it going? Have you ever been in a scenario where you were the odd person out? Whether you were the new kid in school, the new neighbor on the block, the new face in the lunchroom. Everyone has probably had that experience at some point in their lives. And some people actually experience that feeling more frequently because of their unique lived experience or identity. I know that I've experienced moments when I felt excluded. One time was actually when I first arrived at RV. I was in the elevator, and two people who I perceived to be really important walked on in mid-conversation. I had met each of them one-on-one before, and we made eye contact, though neither of them acknowledged me when I smiled. And while they may not have intended to do that, or even realize it because they were in mid-conversation, it did lead me to going into an internal dialogue of not belonging. Moments like that can impact people in ways that we never imagine. And so today, I'm going to talk about the small gestures that we can make that can have the biggest impact on people. Creating an inclusive culture where people feel like they truly belong takes time and a lot of hard work. It also requires each and every one of us deciding to be inclusive and to take small actions every day to improve our workplace culture. For example, I want to give a quick shout out to all the folks who are joining AAM2X remotely. We so appreciate that you all are here with us too. Microinclusions are just that, small, everyday actions that contribute to creating an inclusive and welcoming environment. They can be any small gesture, behavior, or conversation that invites, takes in, or embraces someone else. These small acts are just part of a whole lot more that goes into creating the ripples of positive change that we wish to see here at RV. Here are 4 things that each of us can start doing today to create a stronger sense of community. The first is to be curious. We heard Sam talk about this yesterday, how important it is to be curious when it comes to our work here. That also applies to being curious, to being engaging with other people. When we are curious and we ask questions, we create an opportunity to practice empathy and to better understand another person's experience. And these conversations should be two-way, allowing for mutual sharing between us. One thing that I've loved being a part of RV is the culture of the one-on-one meetings. You know, you'll walk out and you'll see people in the plaza meeting together. I think that culture has really strengthened my sense of belonging and connecting with more people outside of my immediate team. The second is to be a bridge. Oftentimes, we can take for granted our own network, not realizing that not everyone has access to the social capital that we do. An easy way to pay it forward is to build connections for other people. I remember when I first moved to Charlotte in 2018, I didn't know anyone, and I was having to build a new community, look for a new job, and I was deeply surprised at how open and willing people were in the community to meet me one-on-one for coffee, for lunch, to introduce me to people within their network. Those bridges and those connections led me to Road to Hire in 2019. Each of us can be a bridge for someone else, helping influence their trajectory and how they see themselves fitting into the bigger whole. The third is to show up. Showing up can look very different to each of us, but one thing that I think we all can agree on is that we all want to feel supported within our community. I love the simple question, how can I best support you? And it's a question that I apply both inside and outside of work. How can I best support you with your workload? How can I best support you with what's going on personally? How can I best support you as an ally? When I can get out of my own head and focus on being of service to someone else, that contributes to my own sense of purpose and feeling more connected with others. The fourth is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is a strength that I believe oftentimes flies under the radar, and it can be a tough one for some people. For me personally, vulnerability has been a trait that I have found has helped me build meaningful connections, especially when doing the DE&I work that I do here. It could be sharing about my personal journey, failures, life lessons. It's when I open up and share that I create space for others to show up and be more of their full selves. Inclusion isn't about knowing everything about everyone. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about trying, maybe failing, certainly learning, and growing when it comes to making people feel comfortable and like they belong. There's something about being seen and appreciated for who we are. No matter what level or what role you may be at, you have tremendous power in making your own sphere of influence more inclusive. Consider this frame of mind. Design for the edges. Most of our organizations are built to serve the mythical average, so necessarily the tail ends of the bell curves are marginalized. The tough part is that we don't often know who falls within the marginalized group because it's not always visible. For example, think of those who are neurodiverse. We need to remember to design experiences for people at those edges. It's likely that people in the middle will be happier too. At the end of the day, this should feel as organic as possible. Your choice of action might make a really big impact for someone in a way that you never even envisioned. It might make their day better. It might influence their career trajectory. It might impact how they see themselves as an active contributor within these walls of RV. Each interaction we take holds power and value in creating a community that is more engaging, more welcoming, and more kind. So, when you have the opportunity, choose to say good morning. Choose to share a compliment. Choose to help someone with a project. Choose to say hi to the new hire in the elevator. Thank you.